Carol Lancaster, as we conclude, just some final thoughts. I mentioned earlier that, generally speaking, second-term presidents are said to have a little more leeway in terms of their foreign policy, perhaps even domestic policy. But in terms of foreign policy, does President Obama have more leverage, leeway to be more bold? And if so, where do you think he will like to exercise that prerogative?
Yes, I do think he has more leeway, and it's also typical of second-term presidents that the last 2 years of their second term tend to focus on foreign policy, often because they've exhausted their political capital on domestic policy. We don't know whether this president will be able to do that or willing to do that or not. But he cannot seek re-election. He does not have to pander to the interests directly because he wants to be reelected, but he does have constraints on him. And the constraints come from the public, the media, the Congress, external relationships that we have. Here is my guess, that the president and Secretary Kerry will try to do something important in the Israel-Palestine issue. Try again to move the parties towards some kind of a negotiation. It doesn't look promising right now, but things change quickly in the region. And we really haven't done very much, I think, during the first Obama administration to sort of actually move forward on this issue, and I think the president would like to. So if I had to guess one place where he's going to try to make some change, I think it's going to be in that part of the world.
And the last word to you, Anthony Clark Arend, on to what extent President Obama has greater leverage now, to what extent he will exercise that leverage, and where?
It's an interesting question. I think Carol is right. That would be an area which is ripe for the president to move together with Kerry and to deal with the Israeli-Palestinian situation. The one note of caution I would offer is that Obama is by his nature cautious. He's by nature a moderate. And he's also concerned about the fact that there are going to be midterm elections coming up. And if he's going to get certain things done, he really needs to try to get them done before that. Perhaps the environment is an area, perhaps Israel-Palestine. There's so many things he could do, but honestly, I don't see any one issue on his agenda right now. In other words, he hasn't signaled to us that there's going to be a particular issue which he's going to be a champion of. I do say this, if he's going to do it, my view is he needs to make an effort to do it in the first 2 years of this term while he's dealing with the current Senate and the current House of Representatives.